that time. But when they say that on social media, and I go out and walk on Westfield, people are hugging me, shaking hands with me. So it came, I said, psychologically they're trying to manipulate you. I said, refuse the labels. Refuse the labels. Kana song, that's how it came about. But the Kana song is also, when people expect you to fail, Kana song can fail, succeed. So that's why also if you are in a team, you know the strengths and weaknesses of different characters, each character has a role to play. But I thought it was very important that these traditional gems, look, Ifam Bondi was one of the greatest bands in the world of Africa, not just Gambia. Yusuf came here to learn from this Ifam Bondi band. Guys and boys all around. He learned from them. And this Ifam Bondi, all these great bands, Yusuf is not doing original music. Most of them are folk music.
So we will just have to throw a final, question to him, and I believe that that response will cover literally everything. Sometimes
maybe the Cora guy can start running around.
Yeah. So sometimes I used to ask him when we were moving. I used to just turn and ask him, "How do you do it?" He will tell me how. What do you mean? I'll tell him, "How did you manage to stay relevant?" And I also tell him, get up and every time, look, that guy is a study. And I think JJ also said it. He said he sees him as a program. I see him as a study. Maybe he's computer scientist, that is why I use program. But because I am an aspiring political scientist, that's why I used study. So we want you to tell us briefly,
so
and I believe
you are asking the question.
Yes. This response will cover all this.
I'm not sorry.
Kana song, seems like just a slogan. But for people like us, it is an ideology. I want you to set some light on that, and I think that's it.
Okay, maybe I'll use this opportunity to give my own vote of thanks.
Yeah, exactly.
For listening to me and talk. I really love to see people listen. Yeah, because what I'm saying, I actually believe in it. I believe in everything that I tell you. There's nothing about Sabally. If I don't believe in something, I will not say it. But I believe these things we are talking about, they are necessary, they are needed. And I am here today, I don't know where I will be tomorrow. I'm not talking about death, I want to live very long. And by the way, I was told in Sabally, who is never died, so we hope to live very long. I could leave this country any time and go live and hope elsewhere. But the ideas we are all talking about here, I think people should continue sharing these ideas. You don't know whose life you are going to touch, you don't know who you are going to inspire. Who would be the next 100 times Momodou Saballys, 100 times Barack Obama, 100 times bigger than any imam or pastor. You never know. So these conversations will continue. So the kind of something, I've spoken about this so much that I didn't tired of talking about it. You see, I've read some really deep philosophies about what makes human beings successful and what makes human beings to fulfill their potential. And among these is the philosophy of self-reliance as extolled by the legendary Ralph Waldo Emerson, one of the greatest philosophers ever in the history of the United States of America, and one of the guys that actually inspired Barack Obama. We live in a society where people try to cage you. What I mean is not a political statement. People want you to behave like everybody else. He's a poet, you want to be a nurse. No, it's not good to be a nurse, you should be a poet. So you need to be strong, especially if you have a bond, to follow your own path. Henry David Thoreau, another American philosopher, he said, if the whole crowd is dancing, a particular dance, maybe that's the drum they are hearing. If you are hearing a kora, dance the kora dance. Don't dance the bugara when the music being played is pachanga. You lose yourself in the crowd. So you need to be yourself, and that's the first principle in that book, Instant Success. To be yourself in a world that is trying to make you like everybody else, is to fight and to always keep fighting. Society wants you to conform. Again, I don't mean you should be a rascal and break all the rules, rule of God, rule of the nation I follow, that beyond that I want to be me. So long as I am not trespassing on you, I want to live my own life. Society wants you to be a doctor alone. You cannot be a doctor and a poet and a politician. I say no. I'll be a mathematician. I'll be a poet. I'll be a politician. I'll be I'll be an imam. And I am all of that because Mansong, Tanasong, just on the economist, and they tried to do it. When I was at the central bank, when I wrote essays in the newspaper, you should not do this because it's a conservative society, institution. But I insisted on writing in the papers until I published my own book and books. When the society came in 2017, they said, enough of it, Sabally, you are minister of the army, that's it, you are over, you'll never be anything in this country. That's actually the time that the Kartong slogan came. Because there was a propaganda online. Make it look like I'm the most hated Gambian alive. They were saying this. It was online. SG, you remember? One of my few lawyer supporters is here. He was very consistent in believing in me, even at that time. But when they say that on social media, and I go out and walk on Westfield, people are hugging me, shaking hands with me. So it came, I said, you know, psychologically they're trying to manipulate you. I said, refuse the labels. Refuse the labels. Kartong, that's how it came about. But the Kartong is also, when people expect you to fail, Kartong can fail, succeed. It's not a cheap, cheesy, reckless philosophy. No, it's poicism. You know what that word means? Go and recite that.
That will bring us to the end of the session. But we are not moving out. We have our choral guy here who is moving up actually to begin the march.
Momodou Saballys, I will say thank you for being here with us. And there is just this one thing I want to say. That's why I'm so adamant about asking my question. There is something you have saved in me that's like, you are the only person I learned from, being honest. That was back in 2018 in Starface. Do you remember when you came to Starface? And it was raining, it was in August 2018. You entered the rain and come and meet us in Starface. You had a panel discussion with us. I was in the team. Yeah. And we were like, Mami Yasin, I hope Sabally will come. And then Mami Yasin said, I know Sabally, he will come. Momodou Saballys entered inside the rain. He entered in the rain and make it up to us. Since that day, I promised myself, nothing like rain will ever stop me at the time. And the second thing is, like, I had people asking you questions, but there is this one question I asked you that day. I asked you, who is your best friend in your life? And then your answer was, your best friend is your wife, and your wife is the smartest person on earth. And the reason why I asked that question is, when you are a big leader, you said people have to follow you. You need good followers. And there is something I think it is missing here. Leaders also create followers. That day you taught me that. By having a partner. How do you fight for your partner? So that year too, I promised myself when I'm graduating at the university, I will graduate with a team. This year I'm finishing my university studies. And then since 2019 up to date, I'm building a team, working on a project. Now we are 50 in number. Every year I had that dream because of you. And my question at you is, maybe many people don't know, still I'm having some challenges because some people are there, I add them to my team, we don't work along. So if we need to get good followers, as a leader, how do you try to create followers that can actually follow you? That's my question.
Well, thank you, and thanks for the compliment. Yes, I do remember that day when I came to Starfish. That's one of the things that really frustrates me in this country, and that gives me a bad reputation during my time in public service. People think they can give excuses. People will take every little opportunity to give excuses for not doing their job. I don't accept it. Like, you're supposed to come to work. I mean, I'm not saying your mother died, your blood brother, blood sister. I mean, I don't expect you to come to work. But a neighbor passed away, your friend's grandfather passed away. You want to spend the whole day out of work? I'm not going to accept it. If you don't come, I will punish you, go and ride on or something. I don't care. Because I'm a leader, I take responsibility. So Gambians, I mean, some of us, if there is a task to be done, you know what they think about first? 10 reasons of why it cannot be done. Instead of thinking of 10 reasons why it can be done, if I say, I'm at traffic lights, I want to meet you, you are telling me, you need me, I leave my things and come and sit down and wait for you. This is how Momodou. Which ayah in the Quran said that you must get a car to come from Talindi to traffic lights. It's walkable distance. So it just but I was invited to Starfish, and Starfish is run by my good friend and sister Mami Yasin. We went to school together. He's one of the smartest Gambian stewards. And when it comes to reading, she's my boss. I mean, from Lamid Village, Kambiyaa Siemens, America, has a PhD of transforming lives. And I got it down to one reading and writing. Reading. And so Mami Hassan was mentoring young people. She invited me. It was raining for me. It's not an excuse. I actually walked in water. He's right. But I had to go and fulfill that appointment. But look at what's happened. At least that gave me the interaction to connect with him, and he's impacting my life. So this thing for me, there are no excuses. You made a good point about leaders creating. That is important also. You have to create followers also. And you have to make the followers comfortable. And like I said, leadership is not easy. Some of the people you are building will be the people who will be plotting to destroy you. But you have to be patient. That's why I say, if you are not patient, forget it. There's a verse in Surah Ali Imran, where Allah practically is telling Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam that it's a favor of Allah that you are gentle and patient with your followers. If you are too harsh, they will all disperse around you. So one of your responsibilities is to be patient. You can correct them without being too hard. The Prophet had munafiqs, hypocrites. He knew them. He still kept them within the fold. So it's the favor of Allah that you be patient with them. Sometimes you have to deal with crap as a leader. But yes, he is right. You have to create followers too. I'm sure you're not satisfied with all of them. Sometimes also people need time to grow. Yes. My attitude this year most likely would be different from my attitude. But for me, my entire life is about improvements. I'm learning from young and old. I know my flaws. And if you want to be a leader, you must be able to analyze yourself also. Try to build up on your weak points. Thanks for the question. Before the question, I wanted to read a quote just when SLA was performing about the importance of music. And that's why we invested a lot of time and energy and money in building the choir. And Jay actually takes credit for it. She's the choir manager. She has more patience than me. Maybe you think where I would have disbanded the choir a long time ago. Because if you come to practice late, you do that, I just take it away. Because she's more patient than me. So that's why also if you are in a team, you know the strengths and weaknesses of different characters. It characterizes the role to play. But I thought it was very important that these traditional gems, look, Ifam Bondi was one of the greatest bands in the world of Africa, not just Gambia. Yusuf who came here to learn from this Ifam Bondi Garawa band. Guys said, boy, he learned from them. And this Ifam Bondi, all these great bands, Yusuf is not doing original music. Most of them are folk music. I said, what they are doing is folk music. Some of these great songs go back into our traditions, again, the roots that we are supposed to pull off to create these fruits. So we thought within the folklore, all the songs they sang here, did they sing any Baba black sheep here? You always say black sheep, who has ever seen a black sheep? but what I thought about music, especially this era of Bali gangster, I mean, what goes into your mind affects you, and music is very powerful, it gets to your soul. So whilst I was doing the research on, to make a case for me, for myself, to be a little bit more active in the building of the choir, I picked this up from Sheikh Antayob. You know Sheikh Antayob, right? Yeah. One of the greatest African leaders ever. But actually, I was listening to an interview by Abdel Kabir, the late, you know him, lying gone. And he quoted Sheikh Antayob. And this is the quote. I thought it was very interesting. And I will share with you. He said, as soon as Africans start to do the right music, it will uplift the understanding and the cultural gap that has been caused by slavery and colonialism in our relationship. What is that you're talking about? We've got to have the right music to be able to uplift our understanding and a cultural gap. The Tubabs came and they messed up our society, the social fabric. But we can unearth that and take that back. We have to listen to the right music. Buju Banton, one of my favorite styles, I danced all day when I was young. Buju Banton was attacking African language and genre. What the nonsense that they will do about us. Afrobeat. He said they don't have any message to uplift the consciousness of Africa. Music's got to be rich. It's got to be deeply rooted. That's why we still listen to Bob Marley. Because he uplifted and revolutionized the whole thinking mindset. Emancipate yourself from that.
attempt. I was very young, naive. I said to myself, well, Martin Luther King has a dream. But I also have a dream, and that my dream is to go to University of the Gambia. So I said to myself that I have to read, and then I will do it by myself without the help of my teachers. And then I started reading, going back to my books, and I read and read and read and read and read again, and made a lot of researches. I went for a private exam, private ones, and then I have some, I made an excellent results that made me go back. Without the help of my tutors or my lecturers or my teachers, I did it alone. So I also have a dream. Thank you.
Right, I want to react to that because that's the Kartong spirit. More often than not, and these things can be difficult. He's saying it here and he thinks it's easy, but to fail an exam is a heartbreak. And if you are not careful, people can even make you believe that you are stupid when you are not. Let's say, for instance, you grade 11, 12. During the Jama era, for instance, every other day, your father is fired. He can no longer provide fish money properly. He cannot give you rent properly. How do you concentrate and be able to go to school regularly and get the right exams properly? Some young people become victims of domestic problems between father and mother. It can be traumatizing. Some people lose parents while going to school. Some people lose loved ones. And all of these things can affect your studies. So I'm not making a case and justifying why people fail exams. But these things can happen. But what is important is to expose that spirit that he's referring to, that, okay, I did not succeed this time, but that does not make me a failure. I will go and try again and again and again. And it's not just about exams. You will get a job, you will get fired. Don't give up. Try to go get another job. You will attempt to write a book and it will flop. Don't give up. Try write another book. Most of the greatest authors have flops 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe the 10th time Obama lost an election. That doesn't come into his history. He once lost an election and he was congressional. But then he later became a senator and president. So you'll have these setbacks. The spirit is Kartong. You get failure. Keep trying.
So